Hey, welcome back everybody, and thanks for joining us here on Instagram once again for another Wine Wednesday. Hey, I'm Christian LaRoche. I'm sales manager for Waldorf Wine Group here in British Columbia. Wine Wednesday, as the name implies, this is something we started up a number of years ago, May of 2020 to be exact, and it's our way of bringing online content from our portfolio to you. Waldorf Wine Group, we're a small family-owned European wine importing company. We were started back in 1993 by Andy Waldorf, still firmly at the helm. And we have a really, really eclectic portfolio of producers from all over Europe. And we offer wines from small family estates, co-op cellars, classified growth Bordeaux, and pretty much everything in between. So great time. I see that a lot of people now are not buying as much U.S. wines these days. So if you ever want to check out some European wines, we're a great source, so drop us a line and we'll help you find some good stuff. We've got a really cool wine for you today. We featured this one here before, a while back, last year I guess is the last time, but I thought might be worth a check-in. I guess tomorrow is officially spring, but we still have some cool weather and some seasonal weather going on there too, so I think every now and again when we are drinking wine, we're looking for, I guess, the equivalent of comfort food. And I think this is what this wine offers this week. So we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into that. A bit of a unique winemaking process. And the results are a very, very friendly wine all around, either as a drinker on its own or as maybe something as a hearty accompaniment to your meals as well too, and also for not very much money. So it's a fun wine to experiment with. If you haven't done so already, I do invite you, please. We'd love to have you join us, follow us rather, on Instagram. As the name implies, we do this every Wednesday, and we've been going strong since May of 2020. Want to keep that going. It's going to be our 5-year anniversary soon. It's crazy to think how long this has been going on, but it's good fun. Really, really enjoy doing it. We have a really great community of followers here, including our good friend David Lancelot. I see you there, David. Good to see you. I'm glad you could be here again this week. Let's flip the camera and show you what we're going to be trying this week. We are in Italy. We're back in Italy, and we've got a really cool wine this week from northern Italy. We are up in the Veneto region. Yeah, this is Amicale Veneto. This is a cool wine because it uses some of the typical grapes you'd find in the region used to make red wine, Valpolicella wine, Amarone, Repasso, and the like. This is a blend based mostly on Corvina grapes, 70% Corvina, 15% Rondinella, and 15% Molinara. But it's a bit of a unique process. This is an appassimento wine, and you might be asking yourself, well, what the heck is an appassimento wine? Well, I'm going to tell you. What this is, in a sense, is it's a dried grape wine. It's a unique winemaking process that has been around for a long, long time. And it's probably most famously expressed for what we know as Amarone. Amarone, very powerful, deep, velvety wine, high octane, usually clocking in around 16% alcohol, really super, super rich. Well, this is the same region of production. It's the same grapes, but what they've done with the wine too is they've dried the grapes, but it's a bit of a unique process what they do, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But well, I'll tell you now. Actually, what this is, when we make a wine, of course, it's left to ripen on the vine until it reaches full phenomenological ripeness, and generally, the grapes are harvested September, maybe October, depending on the on the vintage and global warming, etc., what they're trying to do. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a dried grape wine, and it's using the appassimento method. Now, when you make a wine like this, the whole purpose of it is essentially it's desiccated fruit. You're actually allowing the grapes to raisin. Now, you can do this in two ways. You can either let the grapes do so on the vine itself, let them hang extra long on the vine and raisin on the vine, or you can do what they do in the case of the appassimento. You harvest fully ripe grapes as you normally would to make a regular table wine. But in the case of this, the grapes are, they're dried indoors in these large, naturally ventilated warehouses. Basically, they put the grapes up in the attic with lots and lots of airflow laid out on these tables. And these warehouses are called frutaio. And what that does is it allows the grapes to dry out. And what ends up happening is the grapes, of course, as they shrivel, they lose water content. And what you're left with is a very, very rich concentrated grape must. So you're removing water from the, from the grapes, and you're left with like a supercharged must. Now, when you leave it on the vine, the grapes to hang naturally, to raisin rather, on the vine, that can lead to a reduction in natural acidity. Whereas when the grapes are harvested normally and then allowed to dry appassimento style in the warehouses, in the frutaio warehouses, that is, they're left there for about 100 days. And you still get the raisined wine, but those grapes actually manage to maintain their natural acidity. So you're not left with just this cloying, soft, syrupy, viscous wine. It still has natural cleansing acidity to refresh you after each sip. I see a few more people joining us here. I'm just going to flip the camera around once more and show you what we're trying. We are up in Veneto. This is Amicale 2020 vintage. This is an appassimento wine that we bring into British Columbia. This is brought to us by the Schenk family, and they are a Swiss family who have been doing their wines also in Italy via Schenk Italia. That was established back in 1952 in the southern Tyrol region in Aur, just south of Bolzano. And again, we'll pull that up in the Google Earth map. And they're an interesting family because they produce wines all over Italy, Tuscany, Apulia, Sicily, Campania, Montepulciano, Alto Adige, Veneto. We bring in a number of wines from them right now. We bring in the Amicale, we bring in the Gondola, Pinot Grigio. We bring in also from Sicily their Gergenti, their organic Frappato, and also from Campania, Maso Antico, organic Negro Amaro as well too. This wine is only available via private wine shops and better restaurants around the province. We're bringing it in for a little while now. We've got decent inventory in our warehouse right now. Highly, highly rated wine, as you can see, 97 points from Luca Moroni, and double gold award from Gilbert et Gaillard as well, too, for those of you keeping score. This is a nice wine because it's available in 6-packs. So if you ever want to try a case and just kick the tires on it, it's a great wine to get on board with. And as I say, very, very fairly priced for the quality. I see a few people joining us here. Once again, hey, I'm Christian with Waldorf Wine Group. And again, if you haven't done so already, I do invite you to follow us here on Waldorf Wine Wednesday. It's a great way to keep up to date with all things Waldorf Wine Group. As mentioned, we try wines from that are currently available in the market. We'll sometimes try wines as samples that we're looking at possibly bringing to market. We'll keep you up to date for any promos that might be happening, any events that might be happening, any tastings, any winemaker visits and what have you. But like I say, it's a great way to keep up to date, and we'd love to have you join us here. So if you haven't done so already, I do invite you to follow us on Instagram. We're probably floating around 562 followers so far and growing. So again, we do this every Wednesday. We'd love to have you join us here. This might be a good time. I think we'll pull up the Google Earth map and get the bottle out of shot, and we'll look to see where we are located. So let's just get this out of the way and flip the camera around. So we are up in northern Italy, up in the Veneto region, up near Lake Garda. Actually, for our purposes, let's just go a little further north here. We're down here. But further north up here into Trentino Alto Adige in the south, in the Tyrol region, just south of Bolzano. We are in up here, Ora. Whoopsie, I think I overshot my landing. Sorry, or it's down here. Ora, this is where the winery itself is located. That's where their headquarters. But as mentioned, they're making wines all over Italy. So I'm just going to back out a little bit. We're a little bit further south here. See, just east of Lake Garda. And this is down around Cariano, San Pietro and Cariano to be exact. And we're just a little bit north of the town here. This is mostly clay and sand with a tufa substrat. And we are just down in here, just a little bit north of the village. And I'm just going to pull up another shot here, if I may. There we go. That gives you a better shot. Beautiful, beautiful region. It's the southwest exposure. It leaves the vineyards in the shade in the early morning and full sun during the day, so it really helps with ripening and a nice diurnal shift. It's a good balance between freshness and sugar content. As mentioned, this wine is a product of the 2020 vintage, which is which was a heat wave vintage. So the wine very, very rich as you'd expect, but also with this style, with the dried grape wine too. It's a big velvety wine. You can see the grapes are strung up more like in a pergola style to promote airflow and avoid rot. And they're all hand harvested. And the drying process, like I said, here's a better shot of it, laid out on mats. And as I say, the fully ripe grapes, 70% Corvina, which will bring some cherry and plum notes to the wine and the velvety smoothness. 15% Rondinella, which will give a little bit more of an herby flavor to the wine. And 15% Molinara, which is quite floral and juicy and brings some nice acidity to the wine as well. As mentioned, these are the frutaio warehouses. They're basically like the attics. A lot of airflow in here to promote the grape drying. Like I said, it's all hand harvested. The drying process lasts for about 100 days. And then after destemming and crushing, fermentation takes place 25 degrees Celsius, 10-day maceration, 3 punch downs daily, full malolactic, and then aged in French tonneau barrels for about 12 months. So you ended up with these, desiccated grapes. So you've really reduced the sugar content, but these have raisined not on the vine. As I said, they've raisined indoors here on the mats. This might be a good time to give the wine a try. I'm just going to bring the bottle back into shot. So we're talking a full-bodied wine, certainly 14% alcohol. Drinking in an interesting spot now at 4.5 years old. It's sort of wine too that you can, if you want, let it breathe a little bit, but I don't think you need hours and hours of decanting. It still has a lot of I found a lot of the primary fruit. But what I like about wines like this is, or in this case, is this wine still manages to retain its natural acidity. And I think that's super important. Like, we all love a big velvety wine, but if it doesn't have enough natural acidity, I find you can get tired drinking wines of that style because if they don't have sufficient acidity, because they can kind of anesthetize your palate. It's a bit too much of a good thing. And that acidity is literally like biting into an apple or fresh fruit. It's very cleansing and cleanses your mouth out, your palate out for the next sip or the next bite of food as well. And it's so important because these wines really shine as food wines. So check out the color. We have a very deep ruby. You can still see we still have fairly healthy pink rim. There's not an awful lot of evolution going on. Let's give it a swirl and a sniffy sniff and see what we've got. Woo! Okay. You can tell we have a dried grape wine. You know, it's interesting because the drying process actually changes the character of the wine quite a bit because, you know, we still have fruit on the wine, but it's less fresh fruit. You know, you're getting a little bit more of that desiccated fruit character. We're leaning more towards raisin and plum, and not over the top, but a little bit veering almost into the sort of the prune character a little bit too, but not too much, which I like. I don't like anything that's overly pruny or figgy or syrupy or anything like that, because I don't want this to become a caricature of a wine. I still want to taste the fruit. This definitely also has a little bit of a what I call like a torrefaction character, like a little bit of a roasted coffee bean note, and definitely picking up some baking spice in there, a little bit of like clove and star anise and the like, and some cinnamon for sure. Really, really interesting. Quite floral too. It's almost like it's got, it was a heat wave year. I'm picking up violets, but it's almost like they were singed or something like that too. Really interesting. I'm just going to have a quick sip if I may. Wow. Quite opulent. That really hits up front. It's funny. This is a dry wine, but you pick up right on the tip of your tongue just a little bit of that dried fruit sweetness. And then big velvety, full-bodied, medium tannin, I would say, medium acidity. The acidity kind of kicks in more towards the finish, that's for sure, and that kind of holds it all. Otherwise, without that acidity, I think all you'd get is like a blob of this sort of dried fruit. So it really needs that acidity to really hold it in check and counterbalance it. I'm going to have one more sip if I may. Lovely. Wow, that's really velvety. Yeah, very persistent flavor on that too. And there's that acidity again too. Nice little tug on the end too. A little gentle tug of fruit tannin for sure going on there. Super nice wine. Very velvety. I think this would be a great wine. It's quite mellow. I think this would be a great wine if I was doing something like Vino Sambuco with the marrow. I think it would be something lovely with something like that. Maybe some hard cheese, maybe like a mushroom risotto as well too. I think it'd be great with something like that. Hey, wouldn't harm a pizza as well too, if you like something a little richer, a little bit bigger. I think actually, also I'm thinking like a pot au feu or a cassoulet or something like that too. I think it'd be great with something like that. We are in the Veneto region. We are trying a dried grape appassimento wine here from Cantine di Ora, owned by the Schenk family. This is from Schenk, Italia. And this is the Amicale 2020. It's an appassimento dried grape wine, kind of like a Valpolicella, Ripasso, or Amarone. Now, it kind of goes down the same path. You might want to call this sort of like a baby Amarone, but you're certainly not paying the price point. But it kind of goes down that same path, big and velvety. 70% Corvina, 15% Rondinella, 15% Molinara. This is available in private wine shops around the province and better restaurants. And it's available in 6-packs, so it's a great way if you want to try something a wee bit different, but not too different. And again, high-scoring wine, 97 points from Luca Moroni, double gold from Gilbert and Gaillard. And yeah, if you're interested in it, please do. I've attached the SKU to the description. And if you're interested in it, drop me a line. You can DM me here or shoot me an email, Christian@waldorfwine.com. And that's Christian, KHRISTIAN @waldorfwine.com. That's about all we've got time for this week. Lots of products still rolling in. Hey, speaking of Italy, we are getting low on our Gergente Organic Frappato, also part of the same stable, but we are reloading. ETA is next week. We're getting another load of that. It's a great wine. A few places have been carrying that around, private retail. It's a great pizza wine. Still have a tiny eyedropper amount of Lopez d'Areria if you're interested in some of that. Got a couple of cases of Tondonia and Bosconia left, so drop me a line if you're into that. We've got some great German wines in stock right now. Hey, spring's coming. Got some great wines. If you're planning any weddings or parties or get-togethers, we've got some fantastic wines to help with your functions and get-togethers. I just posted something on Instagram today. I got 6 wine suggestions there for you. Check it out, please. But yeah, that's about it. I wish everybody a very, very happy spring, and I do invite you to follow us here on Instagram. As mentioned, Wine Wednesday. We do this every Wednesday. It's a great way to keep up to date with all things from Waldorf Wine Group. Hey, I'm Christian, sales manager for Waldorf Wine Group here in British Columbia. So glad you could join us. Please do follow us. Take care, and look to see you again soon, next week, next Wednesday. Take care. Bye for now.